He was an ordinary man with extraordinary dreams. The ocean had always called his name. It was not just water for him. It was freedom. One morning, he set out alone on a small boat. Waves sparkled under the rising sun. The sky looked endless, painted in shades of gold and blue. For hours, everything was calm. But the sea is never the same for long. Dark clouds began to gather on the horizon. The wind shifted, sharp and cold. His hands tightened on the rope. He could feel the storm coming before it even arrived. Thunder cracked like an angry beast. Rain lashed against his skin, blinding his eyes. The waves rose higher and higher. The boat rocked violently like a toy in the hands of a monster. He shouted, but his voice was lost in the roar of the storm. Then came the moment he feared most. A monstrous wave crashed over the boat. Wood cracked. Sails tore apart. The boat split open like glass under pressure. He was thrown into the black, raging sea. Water filled his lungs as he fought to breathe. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, with desperate strength, he grabbed onto a broken plank. The storm raged on, dragging him wherever it wanted. Hours passed. His arms burned with exhaustion. His eyes closed again and again, but he refused to let go. At last, when the storm ended, he opened his eyes and saw nothing but endless blue. No boat, no land, just an empty ocean and himself lost and alive. The sun was merciless. His lips were cracked, his throat dry. Every wave felt heavier, every breath a battle. But then, far away, he saw something, a shadow against the horizon. Not a ship, not a cloud. It was land, an island. His heart pounded with hope. Using the last of his strength, he paddled with a broken plank. Hours felt like days. The current dragged him back again and again, but he refused to surrender. At last, his feet touched sand. He collapsed onto the shore, face buried in wet earth. For the first time since the storm, he felt safe, but safety was only an illusion. When he opened his eyes, he saw nothing but wilderness. Tall trees, thick jungle, unknown creatures. No humans, no shelter, no food, no water. Just silence and fear. He dragged himself inland, searching desperately. His stomach growled like a beast inside him. His body shook with thirst. Every step was pain. Then he found a small stream. Clear, cold water flowing over rocks. He fell to his knees and drank like a starving animal. Tears mixed with the water on his face. For a moment, he felt alive again. But survival was only beginning. As night fell, the jungle came alive with sounds, the cries of unseen animals, the rustling of leaves, the echo of the sea behind him. He gathered dry branches and lit a small fire. Its glow was weak, but it was hope. That night, under a sky full of stars, he whispered to himself, "I will survive." But deep inside, he wondered how long. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into weeks. He carved marks on a tree, counting every single day, 1 to 10 20. The numbers grew, but his hope slowly faded. Food was the biggest enemy. He ate wild fruits, bitter roots, even insects. Every bite was survival. Every bite was desperation. Sometimes he caught fish with his bare hands in the shallow stream. Sometimes he starved for days. His body grew weak, his face thin, his hands torn with wounds. But his spirit refused to die. He built a shelter with broken branches and giant leaves, a home made of desperation. The fire became his only friend. Its smoke kept animals away. Its warmth gave him courage. Yet, the nights were the hardest. Darkness swallowed the island. Shadows danced in the trees. Whispers echoed in the wind. He often woke up in fear, thinking someone was watching. But no one was there. Only the jungle. Only the silence. Loneliness became heavier than hunger. He spoke to himself. He spoke to the fire. He spoke to the sea. And sometimes, he spoke to the stars. "Will I ever go back?" he asked. But the stars never answered. The island had given him life, but it was also taking it away. One morning, he woke up to a strange sound. Waves were crashing louder than ever. The wind was different. The air smelled of change. He climbed the tallest rock on the island. And there, in the endless blue, a shadow moved, a ship docked far away. His heart raced. His legs trembled. This was the moment he had prayed for. But the ship was far, too far. He needed a signal, something the world could see. He ran back to his shelter. He grabbed dry leaves, branches, anything that could burn. With shaking hands, he lit the fire. Smoke rose slowly at first, then higher, then higher. He waved his arms. He screamed until his voice broke. "Here, here, The ship kept moving. He feared it would not see him. Tears filled his eyes. But then, the ship slowed. It turned. It changed its course. For the first time in months, hope was real. He fell to his knees. He cried like a child. He was not invisible anymore. The world had finally seen him. The ship grew closer. He could see figures on the deck. Voice is carried through the wind. They had seen him. They had come for him. He stumbled to the shore, his legs weak, his body broken, but his spirit alive. A rope was thrown. Hands reached out. For the first time in months, human touch. Warmth. Safety. Life. As they pulled him aboard, he looked back at the island, the place that had nearly killed him, but also the place that had taught him how to survive, how to fight, how to believe. He whispered to himself, never again. But deep in his eyes, there was a truth. The island would never leave him. Its silence, its fear, its hunger would live inside him forever. The ship sailed away. The waves crashed gently behind. The island grew smaller and finally disappeared. He was saved, alive, but he would never be the same again.